Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for May 2nd through the 8th, 2022. So I'd like to begin by just welcoming everyone, and thank you for returning this week. And if there's anyone who is watching this my channel for the very first time, I'd like to welcome you to our Angelic Wisdom community. I know right now it says the Angel School, and that is going to be changing once I figure things out. But I started an LLC, so and school isn't a term I can use to register. So there's a few things I just want to say about this past week. First of all, thank you all for your patience. I'm going to be taking another week in terms of just the writing. I still will be doing my angel readings and personal readings, private readings, but I'm just adjusting. I did go to the gym on Tuesday. I got in there, and they gave me the motivation because I said it to you, so I got started, and I've definitely feel much better, going to the gym. It just helps with your mindset, right? And so appreciate that. And in the meantime, I'll be trying to figure out, I'm still working with the Spacious Tarot, as you can see, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be working with it for the writing, or if after this break, I'll just be in a better place to actually connect with the deck to do that work. But in the meantime, I just wanted to make you aware of that. So I will be working on the 12 zodiac videos, which I call angel scopes for each zodiac sign. So that will be coming out sometime this week. And also, just as a reminder, and I'll have to remember to put a link if you haven't already, to check out the monthly angel reading for the month of May. I think I posted it like Thursday or Wednesday, somewhere around there, Wednesday night. So if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check that out. I want to give you enough time to look at that as well. And also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Make sure you select the all notification bell. If you're watching, you're probably subscribed, but just in case somebody happens to come across the channel, because I'm starting to get some notifications from people saying, hey, I've been looking for you, some of my previous viewers. On advice from another channel, check to make sure you're still subscribed and that the all notification bell is selected. According to this person, YouTube might be unsubscribing you. Technology is not perfect. Also, liking the channel and all these things and leaving comments helps the algorithm, and it helps it in your news feed, to, like, when you check something or you check something like it, it will automatically offer up videos that are similar to it. So just keep that in mind as well. And if you haven't checked out my Instagram page, I just started it a week ago. So, if you haven't subscribed to that, then go ahead to my Instagram. It's at Angelic Wisdom 444. Okay, at Angelic Wisdom 444, and there should be a link below the video as well, so you can go there and subscribe to my channel there. And let's see. So if you like an angel reading with me, you can go to my webpage, current one, theangelschool.com/services, and there's a link below the video. And I'm offering my first time promotional angel reading for all year long, for the 10th anniversary of YouTube, being on YouTube and doing this work with you. And so just be aware of that. One more thing I want to say is, because of Instagram, there's a lot of fake profiles, like people copy people's profiles to solicit people to get readings with them. I would never contact you through direct message or any form. I would never write you an email and say, hey, you want to have a reading? like that, hey, do you want a reading? I would like to give you a reading. Never is going to happen, okay? Because I want this to feel as like a calling for you, okay? So let's take a moment and let's take a deep breath together. I'm just going to ask you that as you do this, that you focus on your heart space, your heart chakra. And as you do this, your angels, your angelic team is surrounding you. And they fill the atmosphere around you with golden white light. And you might feel or sense or see your angels. Or you might feel the air pressure around you as though you're in a bubble. And your angels want you to see yourself through the lens of love that they see you through, always, eternally. Now they're showing me a tree, and the trunk of the tree is rather thin, kind of sort of like a palm tree, kind of, and what's interesting, because I've never seen this, but the branches are high and it's kind of waving the top of the tree, and it's like it's blowing in the wind. So this is giving me a sense of some kind of shift happening, and this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this. But it's a shift happening in your consciousness. Now they wrote the word yellow, and in the fifth dimensional chakras, your crown chakra is a very pale yellow. Okay, and so there, pay attention to your thoughts. And I feel like they're showing me the third eye, that you really want to be centered and grounded in your intuition. So if you feel like, I feel like the thoughts that are going to come through are going to kind of, or the messages that will come through, the knowing that you have, is going to sort of shift things around for you. It's going to kind of rock your world. It feels almost like a Uranus kind of energy, the planet Uranus, since that is what the crown chakra is aligned with. And so it's either some sudden shift in your awareness, or some solution that just comes in and just opens your mind, like just opens your mind to everything. And I'm seeing the word honesty, and it's just going to cut this path, this clear path, where you just have this honest moment with yourself. And in that honest moment, they wrote the word love, that there's just going to be a sense of appreciation, love in the sense of appreciation. And I'm seeing the word compromising. And some of you, if your ego is wrestling with you, and you might see the situation as compromising you. You might see this solution as compromising you, while others might have the experience of the right total serenity, and you will see that this is bringing forth improvements, or that you'll see this is improving your situation. As the word they wrote was improving. So be aware of this. But the thing is, in all of it, no matter how you feel about the information you're seeing, when they put their third eye there, they're telling you that they want you to trust your intuition. Don't worry about how you feel about it. And I know that sounds weird because we're always telling you to think about how you feel. But in this clear knowing, you don't want to do that. I get a sense, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but with the crown chakra, when knowing comes through, you don't want to play around with your feelings, because what that will do is put you in this world of duality, right? Where you start weighing the pros and the cons. And with clear knowing, this is sort of the purest form of divine guidance. It is clear within itself. It never needs clarification, because whatever it's offering is the clarification. So your feelings about it don't matter. Harsh, I know, very harsh. Doesn't sound very angelic. But so that you don't start entertaining doubts and start to chip away at the momentum of that clarity, leave your feelings out of it. So think of the King of Swords in this regard, or the Justice card. There's no emotion about this. This is about the clarity that one receives. This is non-judgment. This is an unbiased experience. This is what you've been asking for. This clarity will present complete honesty within yourself. And when we're not honest, we're wrestling with all kinds of illusions that we have convinced ourselves are for all the right reasons. Again, all of that is based on your feelings. But maybe you don't have the tools to be completely honest with yourself. I'm not talking about being honest with other people. This is about being honest with yourself. Because you can't be honest with other people, even if you're believing that everything that you're saying is true. You can't until you are truly honest with yourself. And when you meet yourself, your higher self, there's nothing about feelings that needs to be evaluated. Like, how do I feel about this, as in that? I mean, you can have feelings like, oh my God, this felt so amazing. Yes, or it felt this way. That's fine. The experience of the encounter, that is okay. What I'm talking about is the information that you receive. Your feelings do not matter any longer, because at this level, your higher self has evaluated all of that stuff, your pros and your cons. It did it instantaneously, and we're slowly, catching up. We're just sluggish, in our operations of being where our higher self is always. We're always behind trying to catch up. So it's already done that. And when it presents it to you, you're ready for it. You're ready for this honest moment. You're ready for this clarity. You don't need to figure it out anymore. You don't need to weigh the pros and cons about if it's going to feel right for me or not. You don't need to figure, like, this is the right energy for me or not. This clarity will just sweep through, and it will be this sweet, honest moment. And so the only thing you can do is accept, embrace it, and trust it. From there, Trust your intuition and come back to this place. Continue to ask your higher self to present the clarity that you need after you've completed what it has clearly shown you. Once you've done that, and if, this is assuming that you might have more answers, but if you do, call upon the archangels and you can call upon Archangel Roquiel, who works with the crown chakra, to give you the clear wisdom, or pray to God again for clear, honest wisdom, insight that is of the highest integrity, and that you're resolute to continue to trust whatever it is that you receive. Okay? All right, let's take a look at the Archangel. Okay, so we have the Archangel Roquiel. And Archangel Roquiel is he's actually a seraphim, and he works with your Earth Star chakra, actually. And so he basically helps you to ground all of everything that you're doing in your life. He helps you to ground that and helps you to secure your connection with the Earth and Lady Gaia, and the what they call hollow Earth, which is this at the center of the Earth. It's comprised of all of the like the Lemurians and any civilization that has lived, and any blueprint of the perfection of Earth, or anything that's ever been on the planet, is in this hollow Earth, is my understanding of it, the best way I can explain it to you now. So the card says, enter higher planetary service, be a blazing light. So this is giving us some indication that what is unfolding is going to align you more clearly with your higher purpose, your planetary service. That is to say, what you feel that you're called to do at this moment for the greater good, being aware of that all things that are unfolding right now on the planet are groundbreaking shifts. Like they just wrote the word Congress. And the things that we're seeing right now are groundbreaking shifts. You can look at them as, you can judge it, and that means look at it as separate from yourself, and you know that you're a little bit higher than them because you know better or whatever. But the thing is, or you can see these things as signs of the process of breaking cycles that have been repeated on the wheel of karma over and over and over again, holding us in these situations until we were ready to be honest and learn from them, and then not to repeat them, because we allow ourselves to be aware of what it is. It's not so much about what was done, but be aware of the energy behind it, what we are facilitating. And it's a choice, and we are not separate from any individual or any group. We're not separate. We're part of it. We're all either playing into it or we are resisting it. And you might say, well, it's good if I'm resisting the things that are not good. But at the same time, it's the way that if you resist it, rather than setting up something that is an option, and you set it up as an option to that which is, so that it resonates so much higher that others then just naturally through their free will gravitate towards it. But there has to be on the spectrum of all of this. Some of us are just going to be meant to be there to be the protesters, but they just realize that when you are there, that you are focused on the same point of attraction, that the thing that you don't want, right? And so it's just the way it is. We are all being called to be at different points on this path of healing. But remember, someone has got to hold the higher vision. Someone has to hold the vision of clarity that represents the health of, let's say, a healthy Congress at some point, someday. Whereas there are people in the middle of that who are speaking and confronting and participating. It's all necessary in order for the collective, or to have their shifts in their awareness. So all these things are helping us to improve, and they're calling forth for those improvements, no matter how slow it seems to be. And sometimes when it looks like the improvements are failing, or that one side is losing while the other is winning, this is an illusion, winning and losing. And that's why it's so important that when we have an honest moment, that honest moment that comes from your higher self will not choose sides, but will reveal all sides as they are. It will show you the facade that is being implemented and held up, so that you can see your true self in relationship to that, and then be aware, have understanding. It will never make you feel like you're better because you maybe weren't participating in it in one way, but it's going to show you all the facets of yourself, how all of those facets are participating in some aspects of the manifestation of what you're seeing that you don't like. It may be so tiny that it's hardly recognizable, but it's feeding that. So that's something really important to be aware of in all of this. And I feel like that it's really important with Archangel Roquiel to really be grounded in this week, just on a basic level. Really be aware of your ground. Also be aware of your divine blueprint. Be aware of your divine blueprint. And making sure, just in a way, just in your prayers, asking that you are always in alignment with your divine blueprint, and that you are grounding from that position, and that you want to be fully grounded in your divine blueprint to align you with your truth and your purpose in this moment. And so many times we're so focused on what we should be doing and where we should be going, and we don't spend enough time being aware of who I'm being called to be in this moment, in this situation. Even if I don't like this situation, even this situation is god-awful, let's put it that way, then ask yourself, instead of trying to figure out how to weasel out of it in order to feel better. And I know that makes sense, right? Let's just get out of it. Don't stand in the drama, right? Don't stay in the drama. But the point is that you're where you're you're always where you need to be. You're always where you need to be. And therefore, you need to know, you need to be who you're supposed to be in that moment. Maybe in a dramatic situation, maybe you're there to just learn to be silent, because to say anything would draw you into it or escalate something. I mean, there's all kinds of lessons that one could be learning. But, we often say, why me? Why me? And then the question is, you should ask yourself, why not? Because you're saying, and I don't know if I mean just because you're saying, well, why can't it be somebody else? I don't think any of us are thinking that. I think we're thinking, why is this happening to me? But if you ask yourself, why not? You might understand how you got there. It's like it's a weird question, I know, but it's if you ask that why not, you'll understand. You're saying to yourself, okay, honestly, you did kind of XYZ, and then this, ABC happened, right? I mean, it's weird, but you get my point. So, because when you accept the role that you played, and this is not about blaming yourself, it's actually empowering, because when you allow yourself to be aware of what was clearly done, then you know how not to do set up that dynamic for yourself again. You become aware of the way you played victim, or the way that you played aggressor. And I don't mean that I mean those in very general ways, but you just learn how you could have just been yourself more. You could have been following your heart more. And learning how to navigate, this is like having a, navigational system for your heart. Like, think of it as like the bridge and the steering wheel and all these different things, these components. And you're learning, like, if you learn how to drive something, you learn how to operate something well, the better you get at it, the more, let's see, the more exciting your adventures are, the more confidence you have in your abilities and your skills as a navigator, right? So in your life, when you're honest with yourself, because when you say, why me, that's blocking, pushing away, your role in this, because you are a creator. And when you say, well, why not? Then you're open to saying, okay, well, how did I participate in this? And what is it that I overlooked? And then in that process, you learn to be a better navigator. So the next time, you won't navigate your way into in a situation like that. So being honest, if you don't have your, clear moment, then you could also facilitate it by being very honest with yourself. And this will help ground you into your divine plan. You will find that this honesty and this clarity helps you to be in the flow of the Earth's algorithms and the universe's algorithms. Because one of the things that Archangel Roquiel does is he facilitates the energies that humanity, every life experience that we live is like data, and so he brings that through into the earth, to the ley lines, into the grids, and then also the grids in the cosmos, connecting with certain planets like Neptune and Sirius. So there's this planetary grid and cosmic grid that he also works with. Likewise, for us on a basic level, when we have this kind of enlightenment, clarity in our lives, this works for us. This connects us to the earth and to the universe and to our into humanity at that higher level, higher self, higher consciousness level, so that now we find ourselves navigating with the flow rather than always against it or in an adverse way. All right, so let's take a look at the card, the first card. So this is the Seven of Cups, and it's reversed, and it fell to the table. So I'll just turn it up so you can just see it. So this is a little different because usually we see the Seven Cups sort of upright, and they're in the clouds, and it's like this dream of all of our dreams, like, and the person is trying to decide which to choose, right? This is a cups are about emotions, about feelings, right? So the thing is that one usually gets sort of caught up in the feelings and can't make that decision that only the heart can choose. Most times we really get stuck in our mind, and we're just going back between the mind and the emotions, the heart, mind and emotion, like thoughts, like these thoughts, and then how I feel about them, and we get stuck. But when your higher self comes in, it offers just pure honesty. This can't be refuted in any way, shape, or form, and we should not try to do so. Now, in this reversed, see, what's this interesting about this card is like the water, the liquid is falling out of the cards, and we don't know what's below. We can assume that it's a surface, a hard surface. It could be sand beneath, and it's just falling in the night, as if in this darkness, you feel like you're in the dark. You don't know where things are going or what the outcome is. It's like watching things happen in slow motion, and you feel like you can't do anything to stop it. Okay, so this is sort of the energy. Now, reversed, it's saying that maybe you're in this situation where you're going to have to learn how to just be with that moment. And instead of trying to figure out how to stop something from happening, maybe you need to really focus on what clarity you're getting about what is it that you can control, or what is it that you can grasp in that moment of all these things that are falling. And so instead of focusing on everything at once, work on focusing on one thing that you can control, one thing that you are sure about, one thing that you feel really good about, where the clarity it's so crystal clear that you can't refute this, right? It's what you need. This is what matters most to you, and it's what you are most comfortable with. So you focus on that and work with that. And it's like you take matters a step at a time. So instead of trying to work with all of these energies or things that might be coming up at the beginning of the week at once, especially if like this thing just throws you off, this clarity that you receive just creates a shift and throws everything out of whack. Focus. I would set an intention for the one thing that you want to focus on, and then maybe you can make priorities about how you go about doing focusing on the others, or how you will navigate a path to working with them. But be open to the moment, because you might think, oh, I'll do this first, I'll do this next, but it might be that once you start with the thing that you started with, it might be in a different order. So just be open. But the thing is, this is usually a card about procrastination. So don't allow yourself to procrastinate because things aren't going the way you expected them to go, and then you can see the obvious choice, but you're fighting with the logic of it or something, like, oh, but maybe it needs to be go this way, this way. So, really, the sevens are about examining yourself, examining things. So I would examine myself in terms of be aware of how I'm reacting in every situation, whatever the situation. Be aware of my reactions, and are they inspired? Are they being, led by your divine guidance, or is this fear? Because you have a choice: fear or intuition. So trust your intuition, and stop practicing fear, basically. And things will somehow work out. Stay grounded and be aware of what it is that you want to accomplish. Once something starts, you can stop right in that moment and say, okay, and it's going like in slow motion, everything, you can see it just heading into a certain direction, but you can stop. You may not be able to stop the full impact of what can happen, but you can change one aspect of that for yourself. Doesn't mean that everything will be peachy cream at the end, but it does mean that you can salvage something for yourself, and set a tone for how the rest of that situation will unfold. Okay? All right, so we have the Ace of Cups. And this is indicating that somehow that one thing that possibly will land in a place where you will actually be happy for it. I almost feel like you may have lost some other things that and I don't know if it's going to be on a physical level that you feel like you lost something. It could be on this emotional level, like you might feel disappointed, right? Or you might have had these expectations to yourself, and so from what you thought and what you had planned, it could be a sort of a disappointment, right? Again, you might feel like you compromised or you've improved. What this shows us is if you focus on that one thing, that if it just looks like that, it's going to land in a place where a new opportunity is going to come out of it for you. Now, this might generally mean emotionally, or might indicate a new relationship or a new insight, right? But whatever this new opportunity is, you're going to feel really good about this. You're going to feel really inspired about how things ended up, because you're going to realize that the thing that you chose was the thing that you really cared about the most. And before, you were just sort of floundering. You didn't know what you were doing and how to say yes to the thing you wanted and how to say no to the other things. And you were just caught up in obligations and responsibilities. And now you're free. And that's what they're writing, yes, in front of me. Now you're free. It could be, because I just saw something like poly. So like many. I don't know. It just gave me a sense of like, I don't know if you're in like, somebody could be in a sort of a love triangle, meaning you're not getting a sense of deceit or cheating, but maybe, you've been dating and you had like a couple of choices and you couldn't make a decision. And so something might happen that causes all of this to collide, and now you're forced to choose, right? Some might choose for you, and that might not have been what you wanted. And you might say to yourself, well, I wanted that person, but that person didn't choose me because of this, but this person did. And you'll discover that the person who chose you understood you, knew you weren't being malicious. The others maybe made assumptions. And you wouldn't want somebody who didn't trust you. the person who chose you, or the person you focused on, and they stuck there with you, that is a situation of trust, and that is a powerful foundation for love. So this is just an example of what I'm perceiving, but it could also apply to any other type of situation, a professional situation, um, a financial opportunity could still apply. Okay, all right. And let's take a look at the card for the end of the week, the Emperor. Okay, and what's interesting about his, because it's these flowers, but you can see the order, right? How they're all lined up, the structure that allowed them to grow. These what it looks like poppies, right? So here we have the Emperor, and I think it's also interesting because of the poppies, often worn to memorialize veterans in certain countries, um, and of course, the Emperor is often thought of someone like associated with Mars, the god of war. So there's that sort of connection here for this card. But what this says here is that when this honesty happens here, then you're gonna have a foundation, a structure to build a solid legacy here. So, you can just see with all these rows and rows that someone has, through planting, you can see each one, their success, right? That the repetition, and that there was success there in doing so. And this one seems to be sort of the leader of the whole pack. But the idea is that it gives me a sense that this result is going to create a new influence in your life, whether it be a shift in your mindset, or you start to really feel like you're on a stable ground, that you feel like you're able to really build upon the foundation of what unfolds at this point, in that new discovery, in that new opportunity moment. All right, and let's take a look at the card from the bottom of the deck, and it's the Guardian. This is the Queen of Pentacles. So this is about nurturing, about nurturing this situation, because it's the Pentacles. It might be about nurturing the sort of the things that come to us as a result of what we've accomplished, this honesty, and about caring for them, not just caring for them, but making sure that what we bring into our lives, the choices that we make, really will benefit what you're trying to build, right? So if it's a romantic relationship, you don't put yourself, don't, like, say if this is don't put unnecessary financial burdens on yourself, right? Don't try to prove by overspending, that as a way of proving your love, or trying to, I don't want to say it this way, but showing off, try to get someone to feel like you're a good catch, kind of thing. If it's an opportunity, or professional opportunity, the thing is that you want to really be practical in your spending, your approach to spending. You want to make sure that you're making it the right investments, and that you're using your money wisely for future investments, being aware of expenses and things of that nature. So you just see this bear just sitting there, and the leaves are falling, and you see in the background this dark space, And that's that unknown, the unknowns, preparing for what might not be in your scope of awareness at the moment, right? But at the same time, tending to the needs of the area that you're overseeing. So you got to you got to sort of like plan for now, and then also have plans for those things that you don't know about as well. But her job is overseeing this land space here, and there's work to be done, and thinking about that work and how you're going to get it done, and how you're going to possibly engage others to do it. It might be that you might be hiring other people to do that, and then you also got to plan for the long term as well. So there's a couple of things there. So again, we've gone from not being able to control everything, right? And letting things fall, letting that shift happen. And this is a shift or change that's been coming for a long time. You were avoiding it, because this is what this card means to me. You were avoiding it. You didn't want to see it. And things happened, but things landed not maybe the way you expected, but they're much better than what you could have ever imagined. And then you're going to be working on, um, setting up a structure, setting up goals for yourself, and also letting things, being aware. What I like about this Emperor card too is that it reminds us of the nature of things that and the way they unfold. Like with these flowers, you plant a seed, they're going to grow, and nature takes care of that process. So there's a balance. It shows us that we had to plant the seeds, and then nature does its thing. Like we offer our sincere and most honest purpose to the universe, and then the universe will grow those ideas for us in the ways of bringing cooperative components or opportunities our way, like such as support, feedback, all kinds of things. And then we take that and we do something with it. But at the same time, we have to be an overseer too. And I think the emperor kind of does that. We have to nurture. We have like an emperor here, we have a queen, and we have to nurture, take care of, make sure that the provisions are there, right? And for what we need to do now and for what we need to do later. All right. So it's a very interesting week. Just know that this part here, I think, is the most important part, is being open to, being honest with yourself, and being open to the clarity that comes to you, and trusting it and following it. And then trusting that the universe will then be able to do its part in the most precise, clearest manner ever, which means that you will experience opportunities that you will have to choose, but they'll come to you more easily, or insights will come to you more easily, or direction or guidance will come to you more easily. Once you're honest, then you're clear. So if you've been trying to work on clarity without being honest, and we're not talking about you telling lies to yourself. We're talking about you maybe denying the truth that you feel or hear or sense through your guidance, and just letting it be, let it come out, and then see how you feel. But as long as you hold it back, you can't really deal with it. You can't see what it's really like while you're holding it back. You got to let it out first. You got to say it out loud, put it on paper, and then let the pieces start to unfold. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful week. God bless you.